Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Been thinking about handles. You know, this sort of thing. I've got to find a replacement for this. I don't know what they're using. But the other day, I was out buying number 2 blades for my X-Acto knife at Joans. Let's check it out. Like I said, there I was at Joans. You came across this. This is Circuit Premium Vinyl. Permanent glossy, permanent brilliant. See it? It's vinyl tape. Well, sheets of it. And I thought, you know, I have a lot of these guys. See this? Very frustrating. How do you replace this? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, and you're always finding nice knives like this, Fisherman. It's an Imperial, really good condition. Even the blades are in good shape, and the tool. A little bit of rust, but hey, that never hurt nobody. You can clean it up. It's a fisherman's knife. Of course, it's going to be rusty. I was wondering about this, so I bought some. Didn't cost an arm and a leg, and the budget could just about cover it. And I want to put it on you, see if it'll work. Because I looked up vinyl. And everything I read about it said vinyl tape, this type of thing, maybe the thicker stuff, but I'm thinking thinner, same thing, right? Is wear resistant. It really works well. It takes a lot of abuse. So I thought, time to do some experimenting. I didn't want to do it on this knife. I like these, you know. If it works, I can add it to my other fisherman. And it'll be different. So I went and dug in the box for a beater that was in the same situation. That if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. No. So I started experimenting and I thought, you know, I wonder if it'll work. So this is what I did. So what I did was I found some beaters that I could use. That was just like a jackknife. The other one is almost like a small camper. Decided to use that one. So I cut a piece off it that I could work with. Just a random piece. We are experimenting after all. Now what I did was I got some rubbing alcohol and I also, you know, like sanded it and then hit it with rubbing alcohol to get as much goop or anything like that off as I could. So now I decided, you know, I had to measure how much I needed. It just happened to be exactly 6 centimeters. Yeah, centimeters. I'm a foreigner. Marked it off, trimmed it down, checked it again. Always got to do that. The part I hate, these tabs. Struggle with them because I'm always worried about breaking them. Instead, I'll break my picks. But I figured out that a small flat screwdriver actually worked pretty good. A lot of rust underneath. I don't know what this little thing is for. I think it was a gap filler or something. I'm not sure. So I got rid of all the rust and all the stuff on the inside because it's going to fold over onto there and I wanted it to stick properly. Yeah, just having a look, see what I'm dealing with. And I thought if I use a sponge, it'll hopefully spread and push it down evenly. I do delicate stuff, I shake like crazy. It's like an anticipation, anxiety thing. So finally got it where I want, and then just used the sponge to wipe it down, hopefully not get any bubbles or little fold overs or anything like that. Gave it a good rub, make sure it was on, folded them over. Now I did figure out that I need to trim down more when on that fold over on the inside, which I ended up doing. I can't remember if I show you this. So now I had to figure out that edging. Really along the edge was kind of important. It's actually an iron-on tape. So they say you should heat it, and if you heat it, it'll be more flexible. I found that if I just pulled a little tighter, it's kind of like electrical tape, except not as flexible, it's a little stiffer. So the problem I was having was that I couldn't see when I started to cut. I couldn't see the exact edge of the badge. So I grabbed a flat screwdriver and went around the edge and just pressed it down, actually stretched it tighter along the edge of the badge so I could see it clearer. More definition. So the nice thing about the badge was this is the crown, so a lot of straight lines. It was fairly easy to follow those lines from corner to corner. And then once I'd done that, I went back with the screwdriver and just made sure everything pushed down tight. Then I had to take it off, obviously, so I just put a line across the top of the badge so I could lift it. Had to go really, really slowly here. I didn't want to lift that, anything outside of the badge. So I just had to go really slowly and make sure nothing would peel off. Then I went back and just pushed down against the edges of the badge again, just to make sure they were down flat, nothing sticking up or anything like that. Here I decided to just shine up the shield. Had to be really careful. I didn't want to really rub on the vinyl. I didn't know what would happen. But it seemed okay. I rubbed it a little bit, but it cleaned up just fine. So I went ahead and did the bolsters. Same thing, just be careful, not to rub on the vinyl too much. And then just gave it a rub down, a clean up. Make sure everything was nice and solid. So I decided it looked okay. I wanted to try it out, so I thought I'd just go ahead, clean up the knife. Here I'm just using the brass brush to get rid of the heavy stuff. Just go around and do that. Well, it looks like it might just work. It's not perfect. This is my first go at it. I got a thing like a little bubble there. You really got to be careful on the edges here. But I got them both on. And I thought, well, I read up about vinyl and vinyl tape. And it seems like it's pretty hardy, and they recommend you can use it for just about anything. They say it's better than putting paint on and it'll last longer. So we'll see. So I thought, well, that's close enough for government work for me. So I'm cleaning the rest of it up, and I'll just quickly shine it up and whatever. We'll put everything on and see what we got. If it works, then we got some fun. This is 600 grit initial polish. Just very quickly getting rid of the rough stuff. So it cleaned up pretty good. Shined up nicely. I'll put the scales back on. We'll sharpen it and polish it with mothers. But I think I'm going to do that next. So here we are here. Cleaned it up, which wasn't part of the plan. The plan was, let's do a test. So the test is failing right now. I didn't push the tab in enough. I can't get this open. Hold on, gotta fix that. Okay. A little bit of a panic there. I didn't bend the tab over enough, so when you try to open this, it caught on the tab. Fixed. Needle nose pliers will fix most things. It's a fisherman thing, he says. So here it is here. It even cleaned up nice. You know, when I put the covers on, and you can see them here, they're not perfect, but it looks a lot better than it did without them. Couple of things I came across. I have a little bubble there. I don't know if you can see that. You see it there? Not sure why. It doesn't want to compress, and I think maybe, a piece of dirt or something in it. Now, what I did, obviously, was I really tried to clean up the surfaces that I was putting it on. Sanded it off and polished it up a bit, and then cleaned everything up with alcohol. So there would be no goop on it that's going to affect the tape, the glue on the tape. And then putting it on, you really have to be careful. Now, this is an iron-on tape for your shirts. Make things on your shirt. I don't know what they do. It's Joans. It actually has to be heated a little bit, which I didn't do. But, and what happened, let me see if I can show you this. You really got to be careful on the ends here. It's not perfectly straight. This is curved. So when you put the tape over, you really got to squish it over. You're almost trying to stretch it over there so that it doesn't sit up at the ends. And it does. It went in. You can see it went in. Then, of course, I had to cut this out. Now, that's going to take some practice. It's kind of delicate. Now, this was a small knife, and this badge here is small. But I got it pretty much for a test. It worked out. How well this vinyl will last, I don't know. People say, reading about it and reading up on vinyl, they say 3 years of abuse. Now, you don't want to abuse your knife, right? But what's abuse? You know, if you drop it on the floor or something like that, how well will it last? I don't know. People say 3 years. They use the same thing, but a thicker tape. We use it at work. We put it out for kind of like parking inside the factory where the forklifts bring all the stuff we do and they put it in lanes and we put tape down and they run over that stuff all the time with a forklift with a lot of weight. Stuff don't move. Here's hoping this will work the same way. The other thing that really scares me about these, you have to deal with the tabs. And, you know, depending on how many times those tabs have been opened and closed, you might be that guy right at that point where you got to open it and bing, there goes your tab. You're done. I can't think of a good way to put it back on without the tab. So there's that. But this one worked. And you saw me, I sharpened it up. It cleaned up really nice. It's nice and sharp. And shined up. Really nice. Now, what this knife is, I have no idea. To me, it looks like a junior camper, right? It's a little guy. Let me find something that you can compare it to. Here's a Camp King. Here, you can compare it to a Camp King. See the difference? Camp King's a lot bigger, bulkier, wider, bigger blades and whatnot. It's kind of a junior Camp King. And of course, it has the crown thing on it, which is pretty cool. And now I'm thinking, I got a bunch of Camp Kings that are all beaters. Maybe we can fix them, right? You know, like this guy. Maybe we can do it. Yeah, but it's got the wrinkly stuff on, so I'm not sure. We could try, heat it up and see if we can squish it in there. I don't know. I'm guessing right now. But there you go. So now we have a little junior camper, right? And it looks pretty good. It's got a nice yellow sheath. You drop it in the dirt, you're going to find it easily enough. The only thing we need to know is in the future, how well will it hold up? Pretty excited about this because you can get different colors. Oh, patterns. Very cool. So I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm going to leave it lying around on my desk. I'm going to slide it around, drop it, kick it, bite it, feed it to Mary. Well, let Mary play with it and see how well this handles it. And then maybe in a month or 3, we can look back at it. I really want this to work, mainly because of this guy. These knives, you see so many of them, these fishermen, and I'm thinking I could come up with so many different colors and patterns on the handles, which will just make them unique. And these are unique. They got the fish and that snail thing. Tool. Very cool. So maybe I'll do this anyway. Make a sheath for it. Maybe even fancy up the sheath. You never know. But that's another story. You all be safe out there when you're working with these things. And you got your little X-Acto knife and you're having to hold there and get into this. If it slips, it stings. Just say. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Tell me about this. What do you think? Do you think this is going to work? Do you have any ideas of what else we can use? We need something that's going to self-stick. Well, maybe we can do it with glue and put the glue on, but it's got to be pretty flexible to go around the edge and underneath to finish it off. I don't know. Maybe need to look, you know what? Maybe I need to go back to USA Knife Maker and speak to the guy there. Maybe he has something. I looked in their catalog, but I didn't see thin tape like this. Most of this stuff was like 1/8 of an inch, which is just too big for this. Even for this, I think. But maybe he knows something, right? If in doubt, go ask the experts. That's what I say. Thanks for watching. Always appreciated. And we'll see you again soon.